Dr. John Delony and Ken Coelmen sit down for a candid conversation about an unfortunate rise of infidelity and unfaithfulness in the workplace. They discuss why this happens, what we can do to prevent it. I want to share with you this brief clip. Stick around because I want to share with you what the Jewish perspective is on preventing the unfortunate mishaps of unfaithfulness and infidelity. Take a listen.
85% of affairs start at
Workplace,
work.
baby.
1 in 5 employees confess to being unfaithful with a colleague. And I was sitting there processing this, and I was truly stunned. When does risking not just your marriage and your relationship with your kids, but your job?
Yeah.
We're talking about, this feels like a massive risk.
Yeah.
In other words, having an affair outside of work may or may not affect your job in certain places.
Sure.
And a lot of places, if you are having an affair with someone at work, boy, you create a real weird dynamic. What does the
Blows it
leader
up.
do? I mean, it blows it up. What is going on in somebody where 1 in 5 people are saying, yeah, I've been unfaithful with a colleague? They get to the point where they go, they have to know that's risky, but they just go, I don't care. What's going on there?
So we've created the loneliest generation in human history. And so what you have is 2 people who are good at co-managing the house. I'll get Little League practice, you get this, I'll make sure we call the plumber, I'll get the trash out. And you have absolutely no shared purpose or building anything together. And life becomes so quick and so fast. And then I go to work, and me and you and 2 amazing women are working together on a project that's going to help 10 million people. Now we have shared purpose. We're talking about how we feel about things. We have a goal. We have metrics. I'm spending more time with her or him than I am with my spouse.
That's right.
How many of us go home and we pull into our street?
Yeah.
And you just...
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so it's worth everything.
It's all positive at work.
It's worth everything.
I'm picturing this.
But even when it's negative,
Yeah.
y'all are negative together.
Right.
It's y'all 2 versus the boss. It's y'all 2 versus the customer. It's
Right.
y'all 2 versus the salesman.
Right. And by the way, everybody's got their makeup on.
And
Everybody
they only
looks
get
pretty good.
That's right. That's
We're
right.
smiling, we're joking, we're
They
flirting,
don't see
whatever.
they don't see your snot rags by the bed. They don't see you not flush the toilet. They don't see any of the stuff that makes you you. Right?
It feels like when I saw this data, John, I guess that's what I'm asking. I don't want to be judgmental, and I'm not judging, but I'm wondering, because what I want to get to is how do we guard against this? You know, I was raised in a world where it's like you never ride in a car with a woman that's not your spouse. I was raised in a world like you don't have a meeting in a room with a closed door, you know, like all those things.
Gotcha.
That seems insane to a
Right.
lot of people.
Right,
And I
right,
will
right.
tell you, there will be people who watch this and it will immediately create conversation, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
But then when we get back to the data, we have got to guard ourselves to the point that if I find a female coworker attractive, I have got to put a boundary up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Agree or disagree?
I think that's symptomatic of if me and my wife are building something together and my chief purpose is here, then work becomes a thing I do. And you become an amazing, beautiful woman, and you become an amazing, attractive. It doesn't impact me in any way because what I'm building is here. So I think you can build these things, and I think they're wise and important, and everybody's got their different boundaries. This is where I wish more people focus.
So from a Jewish perspective, I want to share with you 2 brief things. Number 1, we have what's called the laws of yichud, the laws of seclusion. According to Jewish law, men and women who are not married to each other and not directly, closely related, don't be in the room together in a way that's secluded. For 2 reasons. Number 1, what can that lead to? And I think we know what that can lead to. Now, you may say, well, I'm not thinking that way. I don't think it will lead to that. But the truth is, being in a room with somebody in a way that's secluded is, in a very subtle way, an act of intimacy. And you want to reserve that act of intimacy for your spouse. It's incredibly important for spouses to be able to share a room. I can't tell you how many couples I meet, and unfortunately, which is why they're coming to me to work on things, They're not sharing a room together. But forget what they're doing in the room. Just being in the room together in a way that's secluded is so important. It's so crucial. The first thing a married couple does when they walk away from the wedding canopy, right after the chuppah, right after the marriage ceremony, is they go in the yichud room. They go in a room for the first time together, secluded, nobody else there. Being in the room together is incredibly intimate. And that has to be reserved for your spouse and not, you don't want to become desensitized by being with other people or lead to temptation. That's number one. Number two, people are going to attribute all sorts of reasons for unfortunate rises in infidelity. Whether there was a problem in their marriage, they didn't love or respect each other, or there was other types of issues. Love, respect, trust, these are all important things. They're crucial, but they are mechanisms. They're pathways. So we can't get lost in trying to find love, because then we could find it in other places. We can't get lost in trying to find respect or trust, because we could find it in other places. But ask yourself this question. If my marriage was full of love, was full of respect and trust, if I was the husband I wanted to be, or the wife I wanted to be, what would I notice that's different about this marriage? If love, trust, respect, whatever pathway you need in that marriage, if that was present, what would be different? And I want you to look closely and carefully for that difference, because I can almost bet you that that difference is there in some subtle way. And the more you notice it, the more you look for that light, that goodness, the more you're going to see it. And that is going to help your marriage, because a little bit of light dispels a lot of dark. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.